So hi Leah, how are you today?
I'm okay, I guess.
Okay. What do you seem hesitant?
Something happened last weekend.
What happened?
I was at a party and I was with my boyfriend and everything was fine and we were all okay, and then near the end he started, like, one of my friends from the politics department came over and started talking to me, and after that he just got really upset, my boyfriend, and we started fighting and we went outside. We were by LUL, like the frat house, and we were fighting and he was just saying all these things that weren't true, and I was trying to calm him down, and when I went to grab his arm, just because he started walking away, he turned around and hit me in the face, and everyone saw, and I just, like, this is the first time it's happened since we started dating in October, and I don't know, I'm scared.
Walk me through what happened at an actual party.
What do you mean?
What led up to you fighting?
So, like, as I said, my friend from the politics department, Jake, came over and started talking to me. Like, everything else was fine. And then Jake came over and he was just asking something stupid. We have, like, a little project that we have to do together. It's like a mock trial. So he was just making a joke about something that happened in our group, and EJ saw. And after that, he got all upset. Like, he's gotten upset before, but never like this. Like, I know that he gets jealous of, like, when other guys talk to me, but it was not anything that, like, was out of the ordinary. There was no, like, touching, there was no anything. He literally just came up to talk to me for, like, 2 seconds, and it just flipped the switch.
How long you and EJ been dating?
Since October, so it's been a couple months now.
Okay. What made you attracted to EJ?
I don't know, he was different. I think in high school I was with the same boyfriend for 4 years, and I always felt like I was living something that I wasn't, and I was being with someone just because it made other people happy and not necessarily for myself at the end. And then I met EJ and things were very different. Like, I felt like I could be myself and share a lot of things that I could never share with my high school boyfriend. And also we were both in the same spot. We both didn't know what we were doing freshman year, you know?
How did you feel when he hit you?
Just really sad, because my dad used to hit me, and just it puts that back into your mind. Like, every time you see him, you flinch. Like, for it really hard to do that when people get close to me that I don't, you know, automatically, like, push away from them or, like, flinch as if they're trying to hurt me. Now, ever since last weekend, I just feel like I'm going backwards now.
Describe what you mean by going backwards.
Like, he apologized a bunch of times, but now, like, I used to just feel comfortable being around him and that I wasn't, like that I was safe, and now, like, if he comes up to me and, like, puts his hand on me, there's, like, a flinch that comes forward, and, like, it used to be a lot more obvious in high school, but I worked through that, and now that those feelings and actions are associated with him, he's starting to notice, and he's making comments, and it's making him upset, but it's just, like, I don't know if I don't really forgive him, but I don't know what to do.
What are some of the comments he's making?
He's like, why are you afraid of me? I didn't mean to. Like, I'm not your dad.
Sounds like to me he broke a trust, and the action of the hitting brought up some memories that you try to put in the back of your vault,
Yeah.
particularly with your father.
Yeah, and he knows it. I mean, the reason that we started really actually talking beyond friendship was because he read this paper that I was going to have published, but I didn't because I didn't want to ruin my dad's life, basically, about what happened to me as a kid. He read it, it was on my desk, and he knows. It's not like it's something that's like a secret, and I don't want to ruin his life either.
What makes you put yourself over the others? What's making you push yourself over him? Why? My concern is that it sounds like from what I'm hearing, you didn't like him. The actions that had been last night led to you feeling unsafe in a relationship, and not only unsafe physically, but also unsafe emotionally. So I'm wondering if that relationship should be able to go on if you can't have that trust and safety.
I just don't want to give up on him.
What do you mean by not giving up?
Like just walking away. Like he makes comments about how people always leave, and that like it's like he's already like expecting me to do it, and I feel like if I walk away, then I'm failing him too. And I don't know. I keep hoping that it's going to be different, that it's not going to be like my mom and my dad, and that even though she couldn't stay, that it can work out.
What makes you want this relationship to work?
Because I can see myself, I don't know, you know when you picture yourself in all these different versions of your life, and you want, for once I just wasn't afraid of that. I wasn't afraid of if I had a future with this person that I'd be trapped or I'd be alone. I thought that I would be, and I still, like there's still a part of me that thinks that it could be, but I don't know. And I don't know if I should, I honestly don't know if I can walk away from that like opportunity or that dream of feeling comfortable and feeling, I don't know. He ruined it, and I'm mad.
Describe to me your anger.
Like, I'm a smart, educated woman. Like, I'm exceptional, and I put so much into everyone else, and I will do anything for them. And for once, I thought I had someone who would just understand and see all of that, and see how much I give to others, and be willing to give something back to me. Have like, I really did. And I don't know if he's just not the right person, and that I'm just putting that on him, but I don't really know how to explain like the series of like emotions that I like attach with him, and it's like such a short period of time. It's overwhelming.
Do you still have those feelings?
Yes.
How long have you been having those feelings?
We met in August, and I mean, I kind of just knew. Like, I don't know how, like, you walk into a room and you see someone and you're just kind of looking at them. And then you look away because I stare at people, and it's been since the start. Like, I knew something was there, I just don't, it took a while for me to be a little bit more open to it. And now he's here with me, but I don't get how, I don't know, I just don't get what I did wrong.
What makes you think you did something wrong?
I don't know.
Tell me about your childhood. Tell me about what was it like for you growing up?
feel like I had like a childhood, like everybody else did, at least. I had, you know, I was a kid, I was in grade school, but being at home, it was always, like I had to take on more responsibility than what I should.
Are you lows?
Yes. And so like my mom needed help with Katie and Mark, and my dad was always bossing us around, and if you didn't like meet the expectation that he had, that you were meant to like you didn't act with me how other dads acted with their daughters. Like I see all my friends and their dads pick them up from school, and when I'm over there, there's no screaming, they never hit their kids, you know, like and I noticed that they were different than my dad.
Did you always see their dad 24/7, or that's probably what you saw when you were there?
That's what I saw when I was there.
Tell me a little bit more about your dad.
Like what?
Tell me about the first time he hit you.
The first time that I remember, I was 4, and my mom was leaving to go to bingo. My grandma, her mom, she used to run a bingo like thing for veterans, and she was gonna go help my grandma with bingo night, and I wanted to go. And I remember crying, and I heard my dad just be like, shut up, and it just kept getting louder, but I just wanted to be with her. It wasn't anything like that I thought was too bad. And then I was looking out the door, we have like a little glass door, and I saw my dad in my reflection, like, and he was standing in the kitchen, and he was telling me that if I didn't stop crying, that there were going to be consequences, and I was trying to stop, and then he started coming at me, and
Coming at you how?
like running, and so I ran. I heard doors. There's like the kitchen, the hallway, and then there's another room to the side that kind of connects the whole house.
Right.
So I ran into the other room, and he kind of like hit like the door. And I remember hearing him, and the door to the basement was open, so I went downstairs, and there was we had a green and blue mat, and it was for gymnastics. And there was like a little opening, so I crawled under it, and I was just hiding there, and I heard him coming down the stairs, and I heard him looking, and he's just yelling that he's gonna find me. And then I didn't hear anything. And then he grabbed my feet and pulled me, and he choked me until I passed out. I don't really remember anything else.
I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds you were very young, and it sounds like a very traumatic experience that probably sounds like a very traumatic experience. That one, it's not your fault, and two, it kind of maybe changed the dynamic of your relationship with your father from that moment.
He was never really the most protective type, but it was like there was no security then. You couldn't even depend on your parents to take care of you, so who do you depend on then?
I remember you told me about a necklace your dad gave you recently. How did you feel about when he gave you that?
I feel like with time, people just expect you to forgive, and that I think that he expects it too. So like when he gave it to me, it was thoughtful. I mean, like, I have a dragonfly tattoo. It means a lot to my mom and me and my sister.
What does it mean?
So when my grandma passed away, I was 7, and I made this like pipe cleaner dragonfly for my grandpa. And it said like, to grandpa from grandma. And she died in October, so I made that for him that Halloween weekend. And then in December, like it was like December or January, the movie Dragonfly came out, which was about a woman who died and spoke to her husband through children that she worked with, and they drew this stuff. So my family was like freaked out, and so they took it as a sign that that was her way of saying that she was with us, and like the dragonfly kind of became her symbol. So he knows that, because they were still together when she died. And the fact that he actually remembered my birthday was nice, because there have been multiple times where he hasn't. And but it's almost like a little too late, and I feel like a horrible person for saying that, but.
What makes you say that it's a little too late?
Like.
What makes you feel that you're a horrible person? Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, it's okay. I don't know, you can't hit someone for 6, 7 years of their life, like when they're developing, when they're trying to grow up and think that they can just, and then continue into adulthood to be absent and like just non-existent really, and then to expect that little trinkets and the fact that you can send me a text on my birthday is somehow supposed to make up for it. And I don't know if I'm just mean-spirited and that's why I can't forgive him. Because I see all these people who are like, oh, I forgave this person, or they do horrible things and I forgave them. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to forgive him.
And I think you need to understand that your situation is not to someone, that's every other people's situation. I also think, Leah, I think you're in the time of your life that it's okay to acknowledge those feelings and understand that your situation is very unique and complex, and that just because other people said they forgive people doesn't mean that you necessarily have to do too. But in the objective reality, he is your father. What does that mean? It's just like, I think your experiences made you who you are to say. You describe yourself as a phenomenal woman, which people see that in you, and like it's really, it comes out through your work with students, work within yourself. So I do believe that it's going to be a difficult challenge, coming to terms with a lot of your feelings, and it seems like to me you're still working through some of those challenges.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I'm never going to work through them all.
What makes you feel that way?
I just feel like people are always moving quicker when it comes to forgiveness. That I don't know if it's just the way that society is, where we're constantly having to see people even when we don't see them physically, and that it's easier to just forget for other people, for them to put it away. But I don't know. I have to see EJ just like I had to see my dad every day. We're in the same program. Even if I end things, I'll have to see him. I don't know. I'm afraid that I'm just never going to be, if I can't forgive my dad, I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive him for doing the same thing.
Have you forgiven yourself?
At times, I let myself just feel a little bit of relief from like the constant pressure, but think it's hard because I don't really know what I have to forgive myself for. 'Cause I didn't do, like, everybody says you don't do anything, and it's like, I know I didn't do anything, like, I don't need people to tell me that I didn't do anything wrong. It's just, but you still feel somehow responsible, like, even if there's no explanation, and so sometimes I just let it go, but it's always there. And I think it's hard because I don't have a specific thing that I feel like I should forgive myself for. Like, is what someone else did to me.
I think you're right. And I want to acknowledge that what happened to you was not okay, both with your father and EJ. I also want you to understand that there's people that are care for you. It sounds like you have a very close relationship with your mother. It sounds like, from what I've observed, it sounds like you are very close with your sister as well too. And I think part of that is cherishing those relationships that keeps you afloat, it sounds like. I really want to ask if you had the opportunity to talk to your father in this situation, in this room, what would you say?
I hate it. And I don't think that's gonna change. And I'm tired of pretending that I love him when I don't. And that I'm not, when he passes, it will be the biggest relief that I have in my entire life. Because I don't think that evil people should be living so that they can continue to hurt others.
What makes you classify him as an evil man?
I think that, like, there's like a history of like mental illness in his family, but I think that he's conscious of what he does. I think that he knows that he does it, and he doesn't see anything wrong with it. He doesn't feel remorse for that. He just says that it happened, and that I should get over it. And there's nothing. It's like when you look into someone's eyes, you search for, at least I do, I search for the feelings and what isn't being shown. And I've looked him in the face so many times, and I'm searching, trying to find like this one little bit of an actual human, of someone who could feel beyond themselves and not be so selfish. And there's nothing. It's just blank. And I don't know. I just really don't think that you can do that to your kids, to your wife, to other people you say you love, and not have something, not have any emotion.
What made you think what made him give you the necklace, you think? And I noticed you're not wearing it.
I think that it's like he's trying to win our approval, not our forgiveness. Like that, if he gives us enough stuff, if he starts bringing in necklaces or fixing up Mark's car or paying for Katie to fly to see Cody, that we get his acceptance and approval, and it's not really about dealing with what happened. It's about acting as if it didn't exist. And I can't make meaningful relationships by pretending that the past didn't happen. with anybody, let alone him. So, and you can tell when it's still like, it's like there's something missing. Like even when he gave it to me, I remember he's looking at me, he's like, "'Cause I care about you." Like it was in the inflection in his voice that was just, it gives you this bad feeling in your stomach. He's an ass, and I know it, and now I'm letting this other person into my life that is, like, the one thing that separates him is that he seems to actually have emotions, like.
So what would you say to EJ then?
Be better. Be better for me. Be better for yourself.
What makes you want to fix EJ? Sounds like it. What do you mean by better for himself?
Because I think he just runs away from everything and he keeps pushing people away and thinking that they're just gonna leave. And just because people make mistakes doesn't mean that they're abandoning you. That just because I forget that AAA is having a meeting and that I'm just trying to balance with ALS, like, it doesn't mean that I forget about the fact that we're in a relationship and that he asked me to be there. It was one meeting out of like 15. Like, I've been there for all of it.
Okay. Life happens, you know, but it sounds like he wasn't very understanding to that.
No, it's like he just, it's like the second one, what would in my mind be like a normal thing, like, yeah, you'd be upset, but like it's nothing to like actually like argue with someone about. Like, I would never like say that he doesn't care if he missed one of my meetings, or I don't know, like it's just such simple things that automatically make him like afraid and blame me, like I'm gonna hurt him in the future, which he doesn't even know that we have. Like that all these things somehow make it so he can't trust me to be there for the long haul.
How are you doing?
I feel like I want to throw up. I don't like talking about
Do you want to stop?
this. Yes, please.
I'll get you some water.
No, I have some. I'm good.